So for recordings, I'm going to talk a little about why the grass is green, and well, I trained this topic while I was traveling on my way to work, so I have like one repetition of it. So the grass is green because of the nature of the light, of the sunlight, and the nature of the grass itself. The light consists of the white light that we observe from the sun consists of 7 colors, which we know from the rainbow, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, light blue, and violet, or maybe blue, violet, and purple. Anyway, these colors are registered by our eyes, and from the point of view of the physicist, the light is the set of waves, electromagnetic waves with different characteristics, like the length of the wave. And Newton, the English physicist, was the first who created the prism out of glass, and he showed that the light consisted of 7 colors. When the white light from the sun, for example, fell on the surface of the prism, and then the light entered the glass substance of the prism, and then at the second surface of the prism, when the light left the glass and returned back to air, we had 7 distinct, maybe. What I mean, we can distinguish 7 lights. I don't know the right order. Maybe the red light. Yeah, I think the red light at the top and the purple light at the bottom, and this effect takes place because of the nature of the light, of the electromagnetic waves. Let's say okay, when the light falls on the surface in the way that is perpendicular to the surface, then it goes straight in this surface. Then the light goes straight into the substance, and the line remains like straight. But when the light enters the substance at some angle, then the angle of the falling light, if we consider the light to be a straight line, the angle of the falling light and the angle of the light that entered the substance, they differ because of some characteristics that we learned in the optics, which is the area of physics. And different wave or different components of the white light has a different wavelength. So let's say the wavelength of the green component is different from the wavelength of the purple component, and because of this difference in the wavelength, the different component has different angles inside of this substance. And again, when they got out of the substance and they fall on the substance, they fall on the surface between the substance and the air. Now at different levels, the resulting at different angles. The resulting angles, when they return back to when they leave this substance, differ even in more way, in more degrees or something. And we can observe that the green component goes at the top, then the orange component, the yellow, the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, blue, violet, and purple. And this thing reminds us about the rainbow. So the rainbow is the natural phenomenon that shows that the light from the sun consists of 7 components, and the role of the natural prisms is played by the drops of the rain, drops of water that remain still in the air, but there are less clouds, there are fewer clouds in the sky, and the sun appears from behind the clouds, and this combination of the water in the air plus the light from the sun creates this prism effect, and we can observe the rainbow in the sky in some moments after the rain. It was the notice about the physical nature maybe of light, and the different components of light. And now another physical phenomena, which is the reflection of light. So the light consists of several colors, and the way we see that different natural objects like grass, which is green, or I want to say something like clay, which is kind of red. So different. The best example is the flowers. They have absolutely different colors like violets or dandelion and other stuff, and why we see them having different colors. Because when the light from the sun falls on the surface of the flower, different components of the light are absorbed by the surface of the flower, and only one component is reflected back. And when this individual wave got into our eyes, we register in our brain the particular color. So when the light falls on the grass, all the components, the red, the blue, the yellow, are absorbed by the grass, but only the green component is reflected back, and we see that the grass has the green color. And the same goes with the paints that were created by humans. Different paints have different chemical structure, and these chemical elements in the paints can absorb and respectively reflect particular colors. So when you have your yellow paint, all the components but the yellow one are absorbed, and the reflected yellow light gives this yellow color to the paint. So when you paint the bench in your summer cottage with the yellow color, that means that every other components from the sunlight are absorbed by the surface of the bench, which is now covered with the yellow paint. And every other paint, like red, green, white, and other stuff, or even black, they all reflect that component that we see with our eyes. Okay, so there are two physical phenomena, I don't know, that work here. The first one is the complex structure of the light, consisting of different waves with different wavelengths, and the other, the chemical structure of the surfaces that reflect only particular components of the light. And within the grass, there are these natural small elements, something called chlorophylls, and these chlorophylls can be observed through the microscope, and they have the green light because they absorb everything except for the green light which they reflect. And because there are millions of these chlorophylls in the structure in the body of the grass, we see the grass as the green one with our eyes. And the third component of all this light color phenomena is our eyes, because our eyes are the elements that can register some wavelengths in the sunlight, and interpret these wavelengths as different colors, like the green, the yellow, the red. But there are some ranges of the wavelengths, like infrared or ultraviolet, that our eyes can't register, and our brain can't interpret them in any ways. But there are some devices that can do this registration with infrared or ultraviolet, and in this particular case, they register not the colors but the intensity of the wavelength. And the most intensive wavelength, which means the most amount of energy that the particular wave carries. So the most intensive wavelength belongs to the green component, and somehow the human eyes have the best perception for this green component. That's why the green color usually considered to be the light, the color of the relaxation for the eyes, when you want make your eyes relax, maybe after the hard working day, you need to surround yourself with green color. That's why people go to the forests and just walk there and watch the green leaves in the trees around them. This green color has the relaxing effect on the eyes, and also it has the mind calming effect on your brain. Yeah, when you are anxious, this green color calms your mind at some degree. Anyway, I think this is what I wanted to say about the answer to the question why is the grass green, and in additional, or maybe continuing this physical explanation, I can say why the sky is blue. Well, the sky is the particular attribute of the Earth, because, for example, the moon has no sky in our I will write down this word. So the moon has no sky, the blue sky, because it has no atmosphere. But the Earth has atmosphere, and this atmosphere is the air that surrounds the Earth sphere or Earth globe. and because of the gravity, because the Earth attracts the molecules of the air, the air around the Earth creates this layer of atmosphere around it, and when the light from the sun, which consists of different components, travels through these molecules of air in the atmosphere, and these molecules consist these molecules are represented by oxygen with O2, two molecules of oxygen, and I think some amount of hydrogen, which is H2, two molecules of hydrogen. Of course, it's CO2, which is hydrocarbon. Okay, carbon plus this oxygen. Yeah, some compound molecule, and other stuff that exists, maybe nitrogen, and all the stuff exists in the atmosphere, and all the molecules have the ability to reflect, to disperse the light to some degree. So yeah, the blue light of the sky is the result of this dispersion, when the blue component of the sunlight kind of dispersed from these air molecules in the atmosphere in different directions, and this blue component gets into our eyes, and the other components travel through the atmosphere without much dispersion, and they reach the surface of the Earth. So I think when we see the sunset and the sky is quite red and sometimes yellow, these are the effects of the reflection or dispersion of red and yellow components of the sunlight when they travel through the Earth's atmosphere, and when they bump into the molecules of the air. But because of some additional effects, because of the angle at which this light from the setting sun travels through the atmosphere, we have the dispersion of different light components, like the red one. So this is the kind of popular scientific explanation of this phenomenon, and this is a good answer for the children, for the children's answer. This is a good answer for the children's question: why the sky is blue, and why is the sky blue, and why is the grass green? Yeah. Okay. So today's not topic, today's session is about this small topics, small pieces of information that can be gathered from my memory, from the information that I remember from my school period, and it's an interesting way to practice using English to describe this type of vocabulary, which is more specific than general, and which concerns the nature and the science concerns more than let's say the psychology or just some philosophical stuff. And another interesting thing that I wanted to discuss now is about the nostrils. I opened the Russian English dictionary and just opened some random page to get through some Russian words and look for the English translations, because sometimes I have the passive experience of using the English words, and I don't try to translate them in Russian, but I never use these particular words in any situation. So when I see the Russian word, the Russian idea behind this English word, it's kind of interesting for me to create this link from the Russian word to the English word. So I encountered this interesting word, which in English is nostrils, and I tried to think about the situation, small talk, where I can use this word. And I remembered an interesting stuff, Rami Blecht, which is the guy who practices Ayurveda and astrology, and he teaches people of this Indian knowledge. He said an interesting stuff about the nostrils that I don't remember the details, but one of the nostrils represents the sun, and the other, I think the left one, represents the moon. So when we inhale through the right nostril, or through the nostril that represents the sun, the air that goes through this nostril gives us the energy of the sun, some activity. It's like the drinking coffee in the morning. It gives us the amount of energy to work during the day. And if we want to calm down in the end of the anxious day, some stressful day, when we inhale through the moon nostril, we get the energy of calmness, tranquility, of relaxation. Our mind starts to relax. So the idea is, of course, to learn the right nostril, and then when you need to get the energy for some part of the day in front of you, you just close your opposite nostril, you close your moon nostril and inhale through the sun nostril. And it really doesn't matter the way you exhale. You can exhale through the moon nostril, you can exhale through the sun nostril, through both of the nostrils, or through your mouth. The Only thing that matters is to inhale through the sun nostril. And Rami Black says that it's enough about 20 cycles of inhaling to get yourself some energy for the walk in front of you. Maybe this type of pumping yourself with energy can be the substitution for, let's say, eating sugar or some sweets to get the energy for the upcoming chores and other activities. And the same goes with the moon nostril. When you need to calm down or when you can't go to sleep properly, you need to close the sun nostril and then inhale about 20 cycles through your moon nostril, and your brain should start relaxing before you go to bed. And there is another practice when you need to balance when you need to balance kind of your both. I don't really remember the theory. Maybe the sun nostril, it activates maybe logical sphere of the brain, and the moon nostril activates the intuition sphere of the brain, maybe. Anyway, when you need to balance your brain spheres, when you need to be kind of neutral, it means you don't need to be too active or you don't need to be too calm. So you need to be quite neutral in some situation. You just inhale with let's say with the sun nostril, then inhale through the moon nostril, and inhale through the moon nostril, and exhale through the sun nostril. So this is quite the cycle that when the one round consists of inhaling through the, let's say, exhale and inhale through the sun nostril, and exhale and inhale through the moon nostril. This way you make the equal number of inhales through each of the nostrils, and this should balance your brain. And after I remembered this stuff about the different nostrils, about the inhale practice, I asked myself this question for the first time in my life. Why the human has two nostrils? We have two ears because we need, and we have two ears and we have two eyes because we need to get this kind of spherical, three-dimensional perception of the reality around us, which is three-dimensional as well. We don't live in the flat world, so to get the distance to the object through our eyes, we need two eyes. To get the distance to the object by the sound, we need two ears. Not only the distance, but the direction to the object. Yeah. But we have only one mouth because, that's enough for us to get the food into our body, and we have only one orifices for the purpose of putting out the waste from our body. But why we have two nostrils? in the end, well, that's an interesting question. I need to check this stuff in the internet, whether the area around the room inside the nose before the air goes through the throat into the lungs. So I have this question: whether the area in the nose above our nostrils, somewhere between our eyes, consists of two separate rooms, two separate areas, or these areas create the one room. So in any case, why we need two nostrils if we could have only one nostril? Because we inhale and exhale, and anyway all the air goes through one tube into the lungs. And now I get this interesting explanation for this stuff, that if we believe in this Indian interpretation of the right of the sun nostril and the moon nostril, and the particular energy that goes through, or maybe the particular energy that is created when the same air goes through one nostril or through the other nostril. Anyway, maybe if this idea is the truth, then having two nostrils is the natural way of the nature to balance our brains. Because I often notice that sometimes my left nostril kind of closed somewhere inside, and I get more air through the right nostril. Sometimes my left nostril is opened wider, and in some cases both nostrils work equally. They breathe in the air in equal amounts, and this does not connect to the way I have a cold. I have this stuff in my nose that prevents me from inhaling. My nose is perfectly clear, but during some hours during the day I have this experience, and maybe this is the natural way for the body to keep my mind in some equilibrium state. Like when the body feels that my mind goes to anxious, my sun nostril becomes closed, and my moon nostril works to get more soothing energy to my mind, to my brain, and vice versa. When I feel too sleepy and I need to activate, my brain my body transfers all the air through my sun nostril and activate the air with this energy. I think this is an interesting explanation, and it goes well with the idea that body tries to keep the equilibrium of different types the equilibrium of different types of parameters in my body, like the blood pressure, the temperature, and other stuff. Okay, yeah, and this is quite an interesting, I don't know, idea in general, because without this Indian Indian experience, Indian, let's say, knowledge, I myself couldn't get all the stuff that I just explained from the fact that sometimes one of my nostrils is closed and sometimes the other one. But with the theory from the Indian culture, this phenomena has quite plausible explanation. And the most interesting part of this all is that I got this whole idea from the word nostrils that I encountered in the Russian English dictionary, and I tried to find some interesting example of the sentence to use this particular word nostrils. And I have almost 40 minutes of the recording, and in the end I can take some random word like she's. I hope this is the right pronunciation. And I never used this word in my life, but I heard it several times, and then I checked it in the dictionary, so I kinda encountered it through the books and through the movies. And the she's, if the pronunciation is right, is the, let's say, container for the sword. When you put when you hang your sheath somewhere on your side, you tie this sheath to your, wow, I don't remember this word, the element of your clothes that that you it's kind of made of leather, and you you surround your waist with this leather stripe, and then you fasten it on your belly, and this thing, but okay, this is belt. Okay, you you tie the sheath to your belt. Usually for the right-handed people, the sheath hands on the left side, and then you put your sword into the sheath, and this way you can walk, ride the horse, travel, and when you need to take out, and your legs will and your horse will be safe, because your sword is because your leg and your horse is are protected from the sword by the sheath. Yeah, the sheath contains the sword and it becomes safe. But when you pull out the sword out of the sheath, you can use its chopping power, its sharp edges to cut the trees if you need to walk through the dense forest, or to cut the skeleton if you are in some fantasy story. So with this, I think I stop recording my today's video because it has more than 40 minutes, and until the next time.